Okay, welcome back to the channel, and we are on a brand new video editing software, and I wanted to test it out, so I'm doing a quick video of the Benetton B195 around the Miami street circuit. Of course, we had the Miami Grand Prix the other day, and it wasn't the most entertaining race in all truth. Fell asleep twice in it. That's a lot for me as well, you know. I mean, Fernando Alonso came third in that race. He's aged 41. I'm 28, and I fell asleep twice watching it. You know, so there's a standards between me and Fernando, of course. But what an athlete he is! What a car this is. The B195. Both Gerhard Berger and Michael Schumacher themselves said how frustrating this actually was to drive this car. Although it was quick, it stormed the season in 1995. Wasn't a car quicker, but it was a bit of a pain in the arse to drive. As you see from this video, it does tend to twitch around a bit. I've even used the traction control, which I'm not sure the car had. See there, it's not. You have to be really precise with this car. But my God, does it sound great! As you know, we love the sounds here of Formula One. Was as back then, as back when it was fantastic. Yeah, so I just thought we're going to do a few laps in it, just see how it, like an older car, goes around these newer sort of street circuits. All of these newer street circuits are definitely not for me, and most of the older fans would agree. Those who came in before Drive to Survive will tell you the same thing. It's not again, they're twitching out. You just got to make sure you get on the power at the right time, because it's just all over the place. This is a quite good mod. This actually, it's only cost me, I think it was at £2.99, which isn't bad. If anyone requests the link for it, I'll certainly give that. That's not a problem. I'm not sure if I can. I've got to find it first. So almost in the wall. More than that. Yeah. So if anyone asks, anyone wants the mod, just let me know in the comments and I'll get it. So yeah, it's like a French company that built this car, and they what was it? Yeah, I mean then you can't find it on Google easily. I had to find it from another YouTube video. Then I found the channel, bought the mod, and of course we're now racing it. This car was actually seen in the other video I made, which is about Michael Schumacher's cars throughout the years. I took them up the Goodwood Hill climb. Very, very fun to make, actually, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you haven't seen it yet, please do go back and give it a watch. It's quite intriguing, actually. It's with some surprising results that I was shocked at the end. I may have to actually do it again with some different settings, but no, very fun to make. Yeah, the circuit itself, I mean, I don't actually mind. You know, it's quite challenging from a driver's perspective, because you're working constantly to get the most out of the car. You've got to be on it most of the time. My big issue was kind of the sort of crowd it attracted. Okay, it's not. There were certain things like a bottle of whiskey was $500. One that you'd be able to buy in a shop for say £20 odd, you know. And a bucket of Heineken, bottles of Heineken, by the way, were like going for $70-80. I mean, that's yeah, for me that's not. I just don't see how you can warrant it. I mean, Silverstone's expensive enough, but I'm just thinking, this is taking it away from the average fan, right? I mean, you looked at qualifying. I mean, I know Miami Heat, I believe. Miami Heat actually had a playoff game that day, so some of the grandstands are empty. But there was, you think, surely if Formula One's is at the level it is right now, with the new injection of fans and popularity and things like that, I'm just thinking, why is a grandstand that empty? And then I saw that the ticket prices, and you think, yeah, I can see why people aren't going to it, to be honest. I mean, even like a roving ticket, so that's a ticket where you don't have a seat allocated. You can go and sort of stand anywhere within the circuit. I mean, that was going for like $700. A Silverstone, that's only like 150, 200. Even by Silverstone's new prices, which, I mean, pretty insane as it is. I mean, I go with a disabled family member, so I mean, it's not for me. It's not too much. I mean, I paid $300 for the weekend, which in itself isn't bad. But I mean, I was looking when they announced tickets for Silverstone. I think it was the start of the year. They were going for just a normal grandstand seat where I sit now. It's like £500 to £600. People cannot warrant it with the current like living crisis. It's taken. I know motorsport's always been a rich man's sport. It has. That's from year dot. You've had to be fairly wealthy to kind of get into it. It's always been sort of working class people when you get a Silverstone, and just that go and watch it. And it's taken it away from them. I mean, first it was moving to paid television, so it moved to Sky Sports over here, and it has in most countries in the world, I believe. But yeah, people can't warrant the prices. For the price of Silverstone, I think even for me, I could go to Belgium cheaper for the weekend and with a free ticket, or one of the races in the Middle East, like Bahrain was only like £200. That's the whole weekend. I mean, with this, I'm only getting Saturday and Sunday. But you get Bahrain, you get like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc. Right, so I'm going to try it with the Monza wing now, see if that makes any difference to our times. I'm not certain it will. I'd like to hope maybe it would give us a few more miles an hour on the straight. It's about, in a minute, we're kind of about 6 seconds off the qualifying time of the midfield cars, sorry, for the current era of Formula 1. But you've got to remember, we have no DRS. If this thing had DRS, it would absolutely fly. It probably would be qualifying around, those sorts of cars. It does sound almighty, this game, the V10. Who is it? This was Renault. The car from the year before had a Ford engine. People say from that era that they said, oh yeah, no, it's 94. People said, oh, it had traction control. And people still say it to this day when it was actually proven that it didn't. It had launch control, which is a totally different thing. Traction control would, on this, if it was proper, would make it an absolute animal. But yeah, it never had traction control, and I don't see why people still say, when the evidence is there, you look it up, B94, whatever it was, the predecessor to this, actually didn't have traction control. It was simply, it just had launch control, which would help out at the start, but it's no good to it within the race or when it makes a pit stop, etc. Because of course in the pits you're limited, aren't you? So yeah, and then it was still an almighty fast car. It was some of the best cars. The 90s of motorsport in general, not just Formula 1, I'm talking NASCAR, I'm talking Indy, or cars it was then. This is where it was. Big, loud engines. It was more open. I mean, imagine that now. They said to every team, I say, right, engines, there's no... You can build your own engine, say, but it's got to be limited to this amount of revs or something. Say you can have whatever engine you want. It's got to be limited to, say, 18,000 RPM. And then every team would be like, right, okay, how can we get creative? So imagine Mercedes would stick with the current model. Red Bull might go to a V8 or V4. I think they spoke about at one point. Ferrari would go back to a V10, definitely. That'd be incredible for all the different noises as well, like it was back in the 90s. And then there's a point when they said, okay, everybody's got to race with a V10. I think they said towards the end of the 90s, and then it moved to V8. And now we've got the disappointing V6 turbo hybrids, which, I mean, they sound okay when you're there, but there's nothing on this. Just here when it goes out of a corner, it's incredible. I hear now. Create a nice echo there with that bridge. Great stuff. What's up best? 121. I'm not sure if this is giving us any more of a boost, I think they've just said it's the Monza wing. Whether the Monza wing is actually attached, I don't know. Okay, well, I think I called it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe.